We are about to showcase one of the coolest looking characters in My Hero Ultra Impact. This Kirishima, you can't tell me this is not one of the best looking general pool units. Like, the art is absolutely phenomenal. I love this Kirishima's art. Now, as for his kit, I will say after initial testing, I personally feel like it leaves something to be desired, okay? But to be completely honest and transparent with you guys, I think the best thing on the banner this time around for the general pool banner that this Kirishima was featured on was not actually the character. I think the memory was the better thing on the banner. So today we're going to be taking a look at both this Kirishima as well as his new memory in both PvP and PvE. So we're going to start by heading over to Ultra Arena. So the very first thing I want to say about Kirishima is that he needs to go on a very specific team, because as a tank, I think it's just absolutely crazy that they did not give this guy Last Stand. And since he doesn't have Last Stand, you almost have to run him with Celebration Momo, because she will give him Last Stand and make him viable as a tank. Without that Last Stand, he actually can get shredded so quickly. So as you can see, I have my Kirishima at level 100, meaning I do have his peace route completely done. However, for his basic route, I did not have enough stamina to get him to board 13. Heck, I don't even have him done with board 9 yet. So this may not be a fair representation of everything he can do, being that I don't have like his max HP pool and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. He could potentially get better by board 13, but I feel like by the time you get to board 9, you have a pretty good idea of how the character is going to work out. And honestly, he feels very squishy as a tank to me. Okay, I don't have any DX copies or anything like that. So this is just a straight up board 9, level 100 Kirishima showcase, and it's not even fully board 9, right? I'm only partially the way through board 9. I do have him fully advanced leveled. And so really quickly to recap what this guy does is he does a lot of speed lowering and power lowering and crit lowering, and he raises his own crit and stuff like that with pretty much all of his skills and his plus ultra. He just does a bunch of stuff, right? He can also increase his own max HP, as well as his crit rate, so a bunch of stuff that he gives for himself. And he can also, with his auto skills, reduce damage to the character by 25%, and he can also give himself barriers that will nullify hits depending on how many times he's attacked or when he uses certain action skills. So he has a lot of stuff going on, right? But like, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of that stuff just isn't that crazy right now with all the status element nullification that is going on in the current meta in PvP. Now, as for the memory, I did actually use UR limit break tickets on this memory, because it may not be good on Kirishima, right? But I see this memory being good in future content, hopefully, that might come out around the JP anniversary, where barriers are going to start to be useful again. If they're making a memory like this, I feel like they're trying to make barriers more useful again, because they realize barriers have just kind of gone to the wayside. So I'm investing in this memory in hopes that it turns out good. My advice to you, don't invest in this memory right away. Go for a copy of it, hold on to it. It might be good in the future, right? But I did put 2 copies into it. So what this is going to do for me is it increases my character's max HP by 30%. This is on Kirishima. When using a barrier, increases character's max HP by an additional 10% and increases plus ultra gauge by 15% up to 20 times. So that's every time they get a barrier. And then also cancels 2 of their temporary status elements up to 20 times. So this memory is not only good on the new Kirishima, it's also really good on like the New Year's Bakugo who just came out, as well as the old blue Kirishima. So this memory is really good for barrier characters and makes barrier characters a little bit more viable. I wouldn't say completely viable, but I think the memory is very good. And the other memories that I'm running on my other 2 characters are speed memories, because I do need my team to go first. And so what I have for the EX skill on Kirishima here, if you scroll down, I will show you that I have the increased speed by 15% on him right there. That helps him out a lot. And then I also, on this memory, have increased speed by 15% right here. Okay, so that's a 30% speed increase on Kirishima from his EX skill and from his memory to make him somewhat viable in PvP. I felt like that was almost necessary to be able to outspeed other teams. Hopefully, we'll get a more defensive team meta later, where we don't have to worry about going first during the first turn to avoid status elements and stuns and things like that. But for right now, this is what I'm running on Kirishima. Okay, I blabbed on long enough. Let's get into the match. So we are taking on Phoenix here. And I would say our BP, our battle power, is roughly similar, okay? They are running what I would consider to be more or less meta units, the main difference being that they don't have Celebration Ochako and they don't have Celebration Bakugo here, okay? But like Najire and Midoriya are both very much still meta right now, or like backup meta units in other words, okay? So you do have to be careful about the teams that you choose to take on, because if I was taking on a Yayorozu Celebration Ochako team, they'd probably be faster because both of them give speed to the whole team. All right, so right here, I'm gonna go ahead and buff Bakugo. I am going to go ahead and try to draw aggro with Kirishima, and I am going to do the AoE with Bakugo, and notice I am going first because I actually have a decent amount of speed. If I show you guys Kirishima's speed right now, he does have 55%, which 30% of that is coming just from his memory and his EX skill, right? And then we also have 96% on Yayorozu, and then on Bakugo, we have 60%. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna go after Najire first. Another kind of cool thing to note about this Kirishima is like normally there's counters on Kirishima where their action skills go faster than normal action skills and it's kind of hard to hit the tap. You do not have to worry about hitting the tap with this Kirishima, which is nice. And as you can see, he did get a barrier there during the normal attacks and blocked an extra one in the normal attacks because after he's been attacked so many times through his auto skill, he gains a barrier. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do all these, hopefully block Najire's buffs so she doesn't heal. We should also decrease her speed right here, which we did. Just ensuring that we maintain the speed advantage. Now, I really like the idea of all of his skills being able to decrease speed. The problem is he has no speed for himself, so it kind of is moot, right? If he did have speed for himself and guaranteed you the first turn, it'd be better. But it's okay. Because if you're going second by that point, it doesn't matter if you're decreasing speed really, because you're probably stunned or some status element or something has hit you and slowed you down. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do all of our plus ultras. Look at Kirishima's speed though. Even with the 15% speed on both the memory and him, he is still 6 to go in the turn. It's quite rough. So hopefully we kill Najire here before she's able to do anything. And hopefully Kirishima will be able to tank both Deku and Yayorozu's hits. Depends on where we're at on the hits for him. I think one more hit and he'll get a barrier. So I think he'll take Deku's plus ultra to the face, and then he should get a barrier and block Yayorozu's plus ultra, ideally. So we'll see. All right, so Najire is almost dead. She should die here. She doesn't have last stand because we blocked that buff with Bakugo. All right, here comes Deku, 18,000. That's pretty decent tanking, right? Not terrible. And we did not have a barrier yet. We got a barrier just now though, and we get an additional barrier, but they don't stack. Okay, that's important to note. Like notice, watch this. See, we got hit by the second attack. Those barriers don't stack. That's also something they should stack. They should stack. If you get a barrier from his passive and a barrier from his plus ultra, they should stack. You shouldn't just get one barrier, okay? So that's another part of my problem with him, just pointing that out to you guys. Let's go ahead and I guess we have to go after Deku, right? The other two are hiding, so yeah, we'll do that. I'm a little bit nervous actually about drawing aggro right here. Let's wait. Yeah, well, no, they're gonna do AoEs. It doesn't really matter, yeah. It doesn't matter if I draw aggro here, they're still gonna hit Kirishima no matter what. Alright. Kirishima does have a barrier. Okay, so he was able to avoid Deku's hit, but then we have this AoE hit, right? Alright, and he got another barrier, but it doesn't matter because Sue has Pierce, so she hit us anyways. We're gonna go ahead and use all of our plus ultras here, but I do want to point out, or not all of our plus ultras, our action skills here, but I do want to point out the plus ultra that Kirishima has, and that is because of the memory. Every time he gets a barrier, his plus ultra gauge goes up by 15%, so that's actually pretty good, pretty decent. Okay, yeah. We want to block buffs of Deku here. That way we are hopefully able to kill him this upcoming turn. So notice he's not able to help himself or get last stands. Alright, and Kirishima's still looking okay on health, but remember, he goes really late in the turn. He does go before Sue at least. But it probably won't matter if Sue targets him because she has barrier penetration. So hopefully we kill Deku here before he gets to do anything. We'll see. Kirishima might die here, to be honest. Alright, so there's that. Let's see how much Yayorozu does. And Kirishima gets a barrier, right? but then he dies. Well, or comes close to dying because she just does penetration, right? And then he dies right there to the normal. So like, I don't know. He's just not the greatest tank, right? I can't justify it and tell you guys like he's good. This Bakugo, on the other hand, I have him on the team for a reason, so I can show you him. I feel like his ability to use barriers is actually somewhat more useful. He hides the allies. It's just a better character. I don't know what they were thinking with Kirishima, honestly. I don't know. I wanted him to be good. His art is sick. Like I said, the sickest art in the game. He's just not the greatest character, and he's hard to run. Hard to run in the current meta. All right, and we should be able to kill Toga here. And so even though Bakugo gets low, what makes him better than Kirishima is his healing ability, which is insane. Now this Toga could stop him from healing, which is a bit of a pain if that does happen, but still, he's really, really good. So she did do recovery block there, but if that recovery block didn't happen, he would be back up to full health at the end of this turn. So actually kind of good for them that they were able to stop that recovery block, or stop that recovery with the recovery block, but still. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and use all of our plus ultras. We should still win this, but like it's not a perfect, right? I want to be able to go into Ultra Arena and perfect with a defensive character, and right now there's just really no defensive characters in the game who are going to allow you to perfect the current meta, which is a bit of a problem. All right, maybe we won't win this. I don't know. We're getting close here. We should be hopefully okay. We'll see. All right, Bakugo should finish it up here. Yep, Yayorozu's dead. And Sue is just... okay, she's so close to death, it doesn't even matter. Alright, and she's dead. There we go. Okay, so, I mean, having the new Kirishima on our team did allow us to get through that, right? It is possible to use him and to win, as you can see, but is winning enough? Is winning all we're aiming for? Because if winning is all we're aiming for, sure, he's decent. But if you're aiming for perfects, it is going to be hard to use him. Okay, let's see if we can take on one more team. We'll see how we do. See if we can keep him alive. But I'm going to tell you right now, I highly doubt it. This is like the perfect test for Kirishima. We are going to take on a free-to-play team, sort of. The free-to-play Best Unist and the free-to-play Redestro, who are both defensive units, okay? So we're going to pit defense against defense, and we're going to see who wins and comes out on top in this battle. I might have the advantage having Celebration Bakugo on my main slot, having him DX with his buff block, but we'll see. I am technically a lower battle power at 467,000, while they have 477,000. All right, so as we get into this, it is going to force us to target Redestro first. Not a big deal. We'll go ahead and buff Bakugo. We'll do the draw aggro, and we will do Bakugo's AoE. Alright, and that is a barrier for Kirishima, so he gets to block that first hit. Looking good. Alright, and now we keep going after Redestro. We block his buffs right here, so hopefully next turn we can get close to killing him with our plus ultras. Speed him down as well, which is just... it's okay. It's not great. I don't think the speed down is, like I was saying last match, I don't know how to articulate it, but I'm not super impressed with the speed down. I just don't like the way it's implemented all that much. It's a cool idea that he has it on every skill, but it's just better to have, you know, speed down on an auto skill that applies from turn 1. It's always going to be better like that. All right, let's go ahead and do our plus ultras. Redestro should die here. There we go. And then here comes Deku, hits Kirishima. Kirishima actually gets to go before Best Unist. Okay, cool. Oh, Best Unist down is plus ultra. All right, that's why. Okay, and we're actually doing all right now. So we might be okay. We might make it through this with Kirishima alive, but all it took was, you know, using 2 free-to-play units on their team for us to actually have a chance. And you can see that barrier came in clutch right there against Bakugo's ult. It did actually help this time around. Bakugo's dead. Let's go. First kill for Kirishima I think I've ever gotten. He doesn't do that much damage, but he is a decent tank. Alright, and now he's starting to look like an actual tank, right? He's looking decent. The problem is just with all of the meta units, the defense down and stuff that they do, like Celebration Bakugo does defense down and it's really OP. So it makes it hard to run characters like this. Alright, he's dead. And here's the animation. Honestly, it's not the best animation, but not the worst. I like it, but I wouldn't say it's anything too crazy. All right, we'll go ahead and do all of these. We should get a barrier here on Kirishima. 17,000 damage, that's decent. He's starting to cook a little bit. He'll take this hit. 16,000, not too bad. Deku is really low at this point. Oh, I think I did miss the chain. I got a little bit too happy and missed Bakugo's skill chain. That's all right, Kirishima finished it. There we go, we get to see a little bit more of what Kirishima can do. Tanks it with the barrier, big. And, oh, let's just let Kirishima finish this up, actually. So green versus red unit. And he actually does kill Ida. 22,000 damage on that. But still, that's not like crazy plus ultra damage. But hey, we got a perfect there. It just took going against 2 free-to-play units, but that's a dub. So honestly, like, I don't know. It's possible. It's definitely possible to use this Kirishima. Just takes a lot of work, a lot of building around him. And that's generally when I don't like units. I don't like units when I feel like you have to build the team around them to make them useful. Okay. So take that how you will, but that's kind of my overall opinion of him in Ultra Arena. If I was to place him into a tier list, this is just a rough like idea. As of right now, the meta can always change. He can always move up or down depending on how the meta changes. But as of right now, with the current meta, I'd probably put him in like A or B tier as like a solid unit or a solid choice. I don't think he's like at the bottom of the tier list, but he's definitely not at the top. So with that said, we're going to take on Climax Battle now and see how he performs there. So normally this is the team I run to beat SS difficulty of the best genus Climax Battle. However, in place of Kirishima, I have been running the New Year's Bakugo, who is also a purple type ally, and also gives barriers. So Kirishima and Bakugo, very similar, okay? But the thing is, in this best genus Climax Battle, barriers don't mean squat. So we're actually going to get to see just how good this Kirishima is at tanking, if he's any good at all. Now, to be completely honest, I don't expect him to be very good in this Climax Battle, especially since he's not type advantaged, but just for the sake of seeing what he can do in PvE in a Climax Battle, we're going to try him out. So just keep that in mind as we get into this here. He is not type advantaged. He is already kind of at a disadvantage being the green type that he is. So this may not be a fair representation of all that he could be in PvE. All right, we're going to go ahead and start by giving ourselves double attack. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves extra damage reduction to all allies, which is good for Kirishima. And we're going to draw aggro with Kirishima. Tokoyami will be our damage carry here. The speed down from Kirishima is also going to be really nice if we make it to the end phases though, because one of the goals for the end phase, or phase 4, is to be faster than best genist. So having Kirishima speed down along with Sue's speed up for your team, it works out pretty good. Or at least on paper it should. Alright, we are officially into phase 2 now. Sped him down again. 11,000 damage on Kirishima. Okay, but he's doing alright. He's doing alright. Not too bad on the health. We'll go ahead and do all of our plus ultras here. Best genist is going to go first. 7,000 damage. Got 74,000 there. It would have been nice to hit a crit. Okay, she hit a crit at least. Let's see how much he can do. Oh, actually not bad. Not bad. That was actually pretty good damage. And so the barrier does help against normal attacks, right? Because he doesn't have piercing shot on normal attacks, but on his skills like this, he would just pierce through the barrier. So keep that in mind. All right, we'll use all of these. All right, and speed down again looks good. Ooh, okay. I mean, he's still tanking all right. He's tanking all right, you know? I'm kind of surprised that he's doing this good. This should get us into the next phase right there, hopefully. With Tokoyami's normal, so we should definitely get into the next phase. So, Tokoyami carrying on damage, right? But Kirishima doing okay tanking so far. Not like anything too crazy, but he's doing all right. All right, so he's a little bit over half health. We're going to go ahead and do all of our plus ultras here. 94,000. 31,000. He's probably, if he hits a crit here, he beats Sue in damage. He did, 43,000. He actually beat Sue in damage. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, and I want to take a look really quickly at Best Jeanist here. So we should have debuffs on him, which we do, and these debuffs are from Kirishima. So we have power down, speed down, critical hit rate down. You can see twice, that's from Kirishima, and more power down and speed down and all that stuff, critical hit rate down. That's going to help a lot and keep and helping him tank in events like this, right? So he's actually doing a lot more than you think he's doing with all the debuffs that he is applying to Best Jeanist. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let this turn go by. Alright, and I'm actually going to wait to go ahead and draw aggro here because I want to give Kirishima a little bit of reprieve here if I can. Give him a chance to heal. Alright, we do the speed down still though. Alright, so now he's going after other characters, which is perfect. That's kind of what I wanted. Kirishima has had a chance to heal back up. And let's go ahead and actually just use Tokoyami here, because I want to be able to use my action skills coming into the last phase. So the more times you hit Best Jeanist in the last phase, the more you're going to lower his speed, which is going to help you out. Alright, so that looks good. He's got his last stand. So normally you can't really do anything until turn 3 in terms of like big damage. We'll see if Kirishima even makes it to turn 3. Look at his health right now. It's kind of low. Power down on him. Alright, and that looks good. A lot of debuffs on him. We did die, but we do still have all those debuffs from Kirishima, right? So those are still going for us. I believe they will still be going in turn 3. Let's take a look here. So he does have power down for 3 turns, 2 turns, 2 turns. Yeah, so they'll still be going for turn 3. So we're good on that. Hopefully that will help us out with being faster than Best Jeanist on turn 3. And hopefully Best Jeanist doesn't kill Tokoyami right here. Okay, good. If he did, we would have been in dire straits right there. And we want to go ahead and use both of our plus ultras and hope that we're able to just finish this up. We might not be able to, we'll see. Alright, so there's the last stand. And just don't kill Sue or bind her. And he bounds you. Okay, so I mean, Kirishima got us to the end. I don't... a little bit rough there. But hey, at least he got us to this point. I don't think we win from here. From here, we just lose. And it is what it is. Nothing I can do about that. We can do this, right? And it's over. So, yeah, there we go. Kirishima in Climax Battle. There might be some sort of scenario where you're able to make him work out. Maybe put a different memory on him. The memory I had on him was for crit rate. So maybe you switch that out for a more defensive memory. Maybe you run the new memory on him that gives him HP. You could run the Protect the Mentor memory, which gives him extra defense and damage resist and stuff like that. So there's lots of other options you could try on Kirishima to make him better, but with just a straight damage memory on him, I feel like he tanked pretty well overall. This just, once again, is not his Climax Battle, so he's going to have a harder time performing in it. Maybe if we ever get like the Night Eye Climax Battle back, then Kirishima will perform better because he is a green type unit. But let me know what you guys think of him down in the comments, and if you guys have any other ideas for PvP teams, drop those in the comments as well. If you guys did enjoy the video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. Peace.